Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for this embodied yoga flow. So today we are going to be moving in this embodied practice. So really inhabiting the body as fully as we can. This is going to be a strong, stretchy, dynamic flow with invitations to get a bit creative, to really make this practice your own, listening to your body, connecting with your senses throughout this class. So we're going to start the class in a comfortable seated position, and then bringing the hands to just rest on the knees or the thighs with the palms facing down. And close the eyes, or take a steady gaze. And as you inhale through the nose, imagine drawing the breath in through the skin, the breath reaching in through the pores into every single part. Noticing where your hands are connected to the legs or the knees. Notice your sense of touch. What can you feel beneath you? What can you feel beneath the sitting bones, beneath your hands, your fingertips? Connect with your breath. Notice your breathing. Notice how your breathing flows in and out of your body. And just knowing today in this practice that you cannot get this wrong. Nothing that your body does is wrong. Connecting with this sense of non-judgment, of acceptance, and of expression today in this class. Allowing your body to express itself. Noticing what your body wants you to know. Opening the eyes back up now if you had them closed. Just bring the right fingertips down to the mat. And we're going to float this left arm up and over. And keep floating from side to side now with this stretch. So breathing as you move and allowing your arm to float as if you were moving through water. So imagine if you were sitting at the bottom of the ocean and you were just surrounded by water as you took this movement. How would it feel? So imagining the support of the water as you move. Allowing you to move maybe a little bit slower, maybe feeling a little bit lighter or heavier. Again, no right or wrong, just notice how that might feel. So floaty movements, a lot of floaty movements in this class today. But as we know, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, floaty and soft movements doesn't mean that they're not strong. You can be soft and strong all together. This is a multi-dimensional practice, and we are multi-dimensional beings. Well done, and coming back to center. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. Bring the hands to the knees or the thighs. We'll inhale, roll the shoulders back. Find that space across the chest. Exhale, rounding, dropping the head. Inhale, lift the head, make space across the chest. Exhale, drop the head, rounding. So waking up the spine, waking up the muscles, the bones, the tissue, the cells. Imagine the whole body just starting to wake up now as we move. And then start to take these movements over to the side and into maybe some circular motions. And again, imagining that you're in water here if you can. Imagining what it might feel like to move through water. Imagine what that support might feel like. So moving into the side body, the front, the back. Noticing, what does that feel like? And taking your last circle, coming back to center. And we'll move into tabletop position. Come into your all fours position now on the mat. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up to the ceiling. Float the right arm underneath the left, threading through. Right side of the head floats down towards the mat. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, reaching up. Keep imagining that you're in that bubble of water. Exhale, floating through. Last one. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, floating through. And coming in to thread the needle, pausing here. So let the right side of the head settle down on your mat. Hips are above the knees. Maybe take a gentle sway of the hips here from side to side if that feels good too. Again, notice what feels good. So take any movements that feel right in your body, but leave anything that doesn't feel right. Coming back to stillness with this left arm. Seeing if you can reach the left fingertips up above the head. So left fingertips connected to the mat, but taking a big stretch. Breathing here. Now seeing with the left fingertips whether you can float the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, can you bring them down to the ground, reaching up and over the head. Inhale, reaching the left arm up. Exhale, back down. Last one, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, float back down. Bring the left hand in so that it's coming to the side of where your head is. And ground the left hand into the mat. Unravel back to all fours. Take a breath here. Inhaling. Exhale out through the mouth like a big sigh. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Floating them up, following with your gaze. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right. Inhale, float the left fingertips up. Exhale, thread the arm through. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, threading that arm through, floating through like you're moving through water or liquid of some kind. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, floating through. This time, let the left side of the head settle on your mat. So coming in to thread the needle. See if you can walk the right fingertips. So they're coming over towards this right ear, right fingertip stretching up above the head. Notice how this feels. And then maybe inhale, floating the right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, grounding it back down to where it was. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, float the fingertips back down. And again, you could bend the arm here, doesn't have to be locked straight. Get a little bit floaty in those movements. Get a bit creative, embody the movement. Well done, and meeting with the fingertips coming back down to the mat. Slide that hand so that it's next to the head. Press the right hand into the mat and unravel back to all fours. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Softening into those legs as much as you need to. And we'll start to take some spinal rolls. So on your inhale, shifting the shoulders forwards, rounding into the spine. Exhale, sending the hips back to downward dog. So inhale, rolling forwards. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, rolling forwards. Exhale, floating back. So again, make these movements your own. Add in whatever you want to add in. Noticing how the body's all connected. How as we move one part, there's always other things going on. Taking your last spinal roll, lifting the hips upwards, meeting in a downward dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up to the ceiling. Find your three-leg dog. Bend into that right leg. Opening into the hips. Inhale, draw the left foot through between the hands. As you lift the chest to find a high lunge, sweep the arms behind, open across the chest, and reach the arms up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring them through to heart center. Look, to focus on what feels good for you. Bring the left heel down to the mat. So reaching out into your warrior two. Flip the right palm up to face the ceiling. Inhale, lift up and out of the waist. Find your reverse warrior. So we're going to float from reverse warrior to warrior two. Now this left hand could be resting on the thigh. It could be sweeping behind the back of the body. So again, moving fluidly with the arms. So we're going to float to our warrior two and reach back into our reverse warrior. So floating from warrior two into our reverse warrior. Moving the arms, floating through water. Going with your breath. Well done, meeting back in your warrior two. Start to lift your back heel, come back to your high lunge. Sweep the arms up and around. And then exhale back to heart center. Grounding into your right leg. You can keep some buoyancy in this right leg as we move. We're going to bring the weight forwards. We're going to bring the weight forwards and float into a warrior three, sweeping the fingertips back. Breathing here, keeping some buoyancy in this right leg if you can. Maybe having a little bend in that right leg, seeing how that feels. And then seeing if you can lift the chest a little. Maybe this right hand, left hand comes to the inside of the left foot and we find a dancer pose. Staying with your breath. From your dancer pose, releasing the foot, see if you can lift the chest and bring the knee in towards the chest, lift the fingertips up. As you exhale, drop the chest. See if you can keep the leg bent, just lifting it out behind, float the fingertips back. So inhale, reaching this leg up. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, knee comes in, arms reach up. Exhale, floating back. Last one, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, floating back. And then this time bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back to plank. Flow through your version of chaturanga. Take a little vinyasa, either inhaling to upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Take a child's pose here. You can add in a little handstand if that's in your practice. Starting to feel that warmth in the body. I know that I definitely am. So on your next inhale, sweep the left leg up, find your three-leg dog. Bend into the left leg. Float the left foot through between the hands. Lift the chest, sweep the arms out to the side, up and around. Exhale, hands through heart center. Open out, find your warrior two. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Right hand maybe comes around the back of the body for reverse warrior. And then floating from your reverse warrior to your warrior two. So again, get a bit creative with the arms here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Last one. Exhale, reverse warrior. Back to your warrior two. And then lift the right heel away from the mat. And inhale, open the arms out to the side, reach them up. Imagine drawing energy up. Exhale, bring it back through to heart center. Grounding into this front leg. Again, remembering this front leg can either keep a bend in it or it can go straight, depending on what feels good for you. Lift the right leg away from the mat. Float the fingertips back. Find this version of warrior three. Breathing here. Again, adding in any little extra movements that feel good for you. Finding your breath. And then maybe lifting the chest. Right hand comes to the right foot or ankle. Left arm reaches up. Finding our dancer pose. Pressing the right foot into the hand back into the foot. And then starting to release the hand from the foot. See if with control you can draw this right knee in towards the chest. Sweep the right fingertips up. Exhale, keep the leg bent. Drop the chest, sweep the arms back. So inhale, lifting the chest, draw the knee in, reach the arms up. Exhale, float the arms back. Drop the chest. So still imagining that you're in maybe a bubble, cocoon of water. How would you move if you were surrounded and supported? Well done. And last one. And then drawing the hands down to the mat, step the feet back to plank. Flow through a vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Now moving through that sequence again, but just options to add on a little bit more and add some things in for those who want it. So before we come into it, taking a few spinal rolls, we're going to inhale, round through the spine, shift the shoulders forwards. Exhale, coming back to downward dog. Inhale, slowly melt forwards. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, rolling forwards. Exhale, coming back. Last one, inhale, rolling forwards. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, sweep the right leg up, 3-leg dog, bend into that right leg. Draw the right knee in towards the nose. Step the right foot through between the hands. Lift your chest, sweep the arms out to the side, up and around. Exhale, hands through heart center. Bend into this back leg. Find a little bit of bounce, a little bit of buoyancy here. Breathing. Now, drawing your left heel down to the mat, find your warrior two. Inhale, float into that reverse warrior. And then as you exhale, float back to your warrior two, this time maybe coming into your extended side angle. But being fluid with the movement and the arms, floating from reverse warrior into your extended side angle. If this is out of your comfort zone, this kind of movement for you, maybe just seeing if you can come a little bit out of your comfort zone today. Maybe observing, being curious about how it feels to do different kinds of movements in your practice. And we're going to meet back in our warrior two. Lengthen into that right leg. Inhale, reach forwards with the right fingertips. Exhale, find your Trikonasana. With your left arm in Trikonasana, seeing if you can float it in the air, maybe going in one direction, then the other, backwards and forwards. If that's too much, then no worries, listening to your body. Inhale, start to lift the chest. Bring some softness back into your right leg. Lift the left heel away from the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale into heart center. Ground into your right leg. Find that warrior three position. Step away from your plant if you have one. My lovely plant. I need a name for my plant. It's like my yoga assistant in these videos. Sometimes gets a little bit too close for comfort. So in your warrior three, fingertips sweeping back. Lift the chest, maybe finding your dancer pose again here. Pressing that left foot into the hands, the hand back into the foot. Inhale, start to lift the chest, release the foot from the hand. Can you draw this knee in towards the chest, sweep the fingertips up. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, floating back. One more, inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, floating back. And then bring your hands down to blocks or the mat. And we're going to find a standing split. So maybe wrapping that right hand around the right leg, drawing the forehead in towards the shin. Or if it's in your practice, if you've got a handstand practice, option to take a couple of little kicks here up to handstand and have a little play time on your mat. . And wherever you were, coming back to your plank position now, taking a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Just remembering child's pose is there if you wish to take it, or any other resting pose. So notice which parts of the body are waking up, feeling alive. Notice where your skin is touching the ground or the mat. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up. Find your three-leg dog. Bend into that left leg. Inhale, draw the left knee to the nose. Step the left foot through between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, up and around, really lifting up from the center. Exhale, hands come through to the heart. Take some bend into that back leg if you haven't already. Find a little bit of bounce, a little bit of buoyancy here. See how that movement feels. And then starting to lengthen into the right leg, bring your right heel down to the mat. Find a warrior two. Inhale, lift the left fingertips up. Find that reverse warrior. Float back to your warrior two, maybe coming into extended side angle. Again, get creative and expressive with the arms here. What kind of movements feel good to take? Floating through from one to the other. And imagining the arms supported by water, liquid. Imagine if you were supported by that, how would it feel as you moved? How might it change your movements? And last one, then coming back to meet in your warrior two. Lengthen into the left leg. Inhale, reach forwards with the left fingertips. Hinging from the hips, find your Trikonasana. Right fingertips reaching up. And again, maybe you're working here in stillness, maybe your hand's on a block or you're a bit higher up. Maybe seeing with this right hand, if you could take a little bit of movement here. So imagining that this right arm's floating through water, pressing down, floating back up. Maybe even imagining you're moving not water or maybe energy with this right hand. Noticing what you can feel in the hand or the fingertips. Noticing what the range of movement here is for your arm and your shoulder. Just to be curious. Nice. Inhale, start to lift the chest, coming back up, bending back into your left leg. Lift your right heel away from the mat, come back to your lunge. Inhale, float the arms up and around, lifting through the chest. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now grounding into your left leg, lifting the right leg. Find this version of warrior three, sweeping back with the fingertips. Bending into that standing leg if that feels good too. Again, seeing if you can find some buoyancy maybe here. So a little bit of give, noticing how that changes the posture. On your inhale, draw this right knee in towards the chest. Sweep the fingertips up. Find some buoyancy in this left leg maybe, seeing how that feels. And then lifting the chest, right hand comes to the right foot. Finding this version of dancer pose, pressing the foot into the hand into the foot. And then releasing the hand from the foot. Draw this right knee in towards the chest. Sweep the right fingertips up. Exhale, keep the right leg bent. Drop the chest, sweep the fingertips back. And listen, if you're rolling, wobbling, falling all over the place in this practice, just remember that it's not about the shapes. It's about our reaction, our response to the shapes, and it's about feeling into our bodies, being alive in our body as we move. So whether the shapes you're creating today are shapes of rolling around on the floor or wobbling in and out, then that's what your practice is maybe meant to be today, and that's okay. Last one. Bringing the hands down to the mat, and then option to add on here, find that standing split, right leg reaching up, forehead coming in towards the shin. Or you're going to ground through the hands. If it's in your practice or you're working with it, taking little kicks up to handstand. Having a little handstand playtime, whatever that is for you. And then starting to take a big step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Take a releasing breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. From here, we're going to bend into the legs. Inhale, jump, step, float. The feet in towards the hands. Lift the chest, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands through heart center. Turn sideways on your mat. Take a big step out. So legs are out wide, toes pointing forwards. Inhale, reach the arms up and around. Exhale, float the hands out in front. Come into your Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring some weight into the balls of the feet, the mounds of the big toes. And maybe taking a gentle sway with the upper body from side to side here. Shifting a little bit of weight backwards and forwards into the feet. Option to take a little headstand if that's in your practice. Just being mindful that if it's not something that you usually take, I advise having some support there, having someone else there if that's the case, or just working with your fold. So if you're taking your tripod headstand, again, have a little bit of creative play here, maybe with the legs. Noticing what kind of movements feel good. Staying in that little bubble of water, that water element that we've connected to as well today in this practice. Floating the legs back down to the mat if you'd come into your headstand. Bring the hands back to the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Start to come up from your fold. And step the feet in so that they're a little bit further than hip width apart, toes pointing out. Inhale, reach the crown of the head upwards, and then exhale, bend into the legs. Sit the hips down for your Malasana squat. Again, you could have a block under the hips here. You might be a little bit higher in your Malasana. Maybe taking a gentle shift or sway from side to side here. Just slow, gentle movements now. And finally bringing the hips down to the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out to the side. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, open across the chest. Exhale, fold forwards. You can round the spine here if that feels good too. Maybe the forehead's coming down towards the feet. Closing the eyes now or taking a steady gaze. It's really incredible that our eyes, our sight, is one of our most dominant senses. So that's why it's so powerful when we close the eyes. That it allows us and helps us to really travel inwards. To notice what we feel, notice what is there. On your next inhale, start to keep the eyes closed, but slowly come away from your fold. And then just adjust your legs into any comfortable seated position. See if you can bring your hands back to connect with another part of your body. Maybe that's the heart, maybe that's the belly, maybe that's the thighs. And just notice how it feels, the connection between your hands and the part of the body that you've chosen. Notice any sensations, any parts of the body that feel alive, that feel awake. And you can also notice any areas of the body where you don't feel anything. Maybe give a little bit of attention to those areas too. And there's no right or wrong. Trusting your body, trusting your breath, trusting yourself. And we'll take a releasing breath to close off the practice. So I'll count for 3 as we breathe in through the nose, and on the exhale you can breathe out through the mouth. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhale, release. Opening the eyes back up when you're ready. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for that flow. Please let me know how you got on with that. I really hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and that it's left you feeling hopefully a sense of being awake, alive, but also grounded within yourself. So yeah, do subscribe to this channel, it's completely free. Link below to other things that I offer, and I can't wait to flow with you again very, very soon. Take care,